Welcome everyone. This EB Reviews coming at you with another video. We're going to be talking about The Flash. I normally don't do this type of video, The Flash Season 5 Episode 14 review. I normally wait until the whole season is done, then we talk about my overall thoughts. But this episode is actually a great summary of all the issues I have with The Flash this season. And it's my opinion, but based on what I'm seeing in the comments and other videos, a lot of y'all would agree. Now let me start out by saying The Flash used to be my favorite TV show. This time around, Arrow is taking that mantle, and the reason being is the stuff that I loved about The Flash, consistency, scientific, etc., has been slowly getting jilted away throughout the years. But let's get into this episode and just all the issues in it. Let's just dive into it. So, y'all probably have heard thoughts all over YouTube about how is Nora being so stupid. And I agree, but we actually got a whole episode dedicated to how stupid she can actually get. And that's a shame because the actress, I think she is doing a great job of what she's given, but they're writing their character just so stupid. So, spoiler warning. Y'all know this, I'm going to be talking about spoilers, okay? So the episode is basically this time loop where Nora wants to save everyone on Team Flash, but someone always ends up dying, and it happens 52 times. Now, after the second or third time, you would think she would talk to a member of Team Flash who are supposed to be very smart people. I say supposed to be because this season they've really been dropping the ball. I mean, supposedly this is the same group that defeated the Thinker, which is the most intelligent, human being on the planet last season. How can they be acting so stupid? And not only just talk to one of them, but she really should have brought this to the whole team. At the end of the episode, she eventually does, and then they magically figure out that she's time traveling or reversing time. They never really made that completely clear, to be honest. And this whole thing was just ridiculous. On top of this, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, or just call out the fact that they showed everyone die except for Iris. What is up with that? They actually didn't show Sherlock die, to my knowledge, either, so maybe I should fall back on that. But if they're going to have an episode like this, everyone should be treated the same. But clearly they are not. And this whole thing about someone always dying, I have so many questions about it, okay? Now, for one thing, when Killer Frost was supposed to die, Nora just ducked. You don't think it would have clicked in their mind to say, hey, Killer Frost ducked too? Then they both would have ducked? No, that someone probably still would have died. Iris probably would have died. Maybe that's the reason why she didn't tell her to duck. But, yeah, there's that. And everyone else that died, I mean, for one thing, Cicada is entering Iris's office, which is the catalyst for him always to find someone to kill. Why is the door unlocked? You could say that he could just force his way in there, but these are questions that I just have to ask. Another thing to note is all the people that end up dying, they actually are given, for the most part, reasons for how Cicada found them. Elongated Man was using his power to get a bottle off the dresser or whatever that was. His dagger sensed it, and he went over there and got him. Cisco breached to the rooftop to find Sherlock Wells and ended up dying. Okay, makes sense. Now, it got to the point where Nora put everyone in the lounge and made them stay in there. So then he killed Cecile. How does he know where Cecile is? I mean, they didn't give any explanation for that. On top of this, I mean, she does have these feeling abilities where she can just feel like the horror or people's emotions, right? So she should be able to feel him approaching. Am I right or am I wrong? Correct me in the comments if they've used that in this season or not. But if this is the case, that alarm button should have been hit way before Cicada was actually in her face, and someone could have got there in time to do something. Not to mention that this would have happened in a different setting, making a different outcome just that much more likely. Every scenario where someone dies, they're always on the rooftop. So wouldn't the logical explanation be for them not to get to that rooftop? And this also leads to another issue with Cecile. If she's supposed to die, why didn't she just put her in the lounge with everyone else? That way she's safe and they could just wait till the Flash gets out of the Speed Force. The awkward silence is there because there's no reason for that not to happen. They didn't give a reason. And this leads to the biggest issue. So they finally find a way to stop this from happening, which I'm not even going to go into how they did it. They didn't explain it. They didn't do it. They just expected you to visually put pieces together but not explain anything. So how their plan actually worked, we have no idea. If you do, please leave it in the comments. I would love to know. So would a lot of people. To my knowledge, they just expect us to take it and move on. No explaining. That's so like the Flash, right? No. They usually explain stuff scientifically with decent amount of detail. And Cicada gets injured by his own dagger. He is kneeling in pain for like 30 or 40 seconds. Then he just jumps away. He gets away. Now, why couldn't they put meta-dampening cuffs on him and run him to the pipeline? Why couldn't Killer Frost freeze him? Why couldn't Cisco breach him out of there? Why couldn't Nora just run him to the pipeline? Do you see all of these scenarios that could have taken place and they would have just captured Cicada? And I can't even fault Cicada for this. He is just doing what any bad guy would do in case that would happen. He had a chance to get away and he did. This all falls on the idiocracy of the Team Flash. I mean, have they forgotten how to capture a villain? This makes no sense. And Cicada keeps getting away through this exact same formula. Team Flash forgets how to capture them, they forget the tools they have at their disposal, or they simply just don't do it. And that's a shame because episodes 1 through 9, Cicada actually was threatening. And the team couldn't actually do anything against him because they didn't know enough about him. This time around, they know enough about him, and now the writers just simply aren't addressing how they can capture him. They're just coming up with little cheap excuses for him to get away so he can hang around for like the rest of the season. And I'm going to call him out on it. That stuff is ruining the tension. It's boring. It doesn't make any sense. It makes all our heroes seem like morons. Remember, these are a group of very, very smart people based on the seasons that we've seen so far. Why would they be doing this? Why would they be making these kinds of season 1 level mistakes? And I can't even say season 1 level because, to be honest, the team was much smarter in season 1 than they are now. Don't get me wrong, I like The Flash and I like season 5 to a certain extent, but the show has so many issues right now. They're just not addressing certain things. And like I said, it's my opinion, but I know a lot of y'all agree with me. That's why I say this episode is actually a great summary of what is going on with the season and why it's just not working for a lot of people. I mean, it literally has Nora being the central theme of being stupid. Literally, the episode exists because she's so stupid. If she would have just came to the team, take out the ending, and put it at the beginning of the episode, and we'd have a 15-minute episode. There's no reason for this to even happen. It shows how dumb Team Flash is getting, or has gotten rather. It shows how they're not looking at all their options. It shows why Cicada keeps getting away and why he's becoming more and more of an underwhelming big bad. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. I don't even know what more to say. I'm just gonna end the video here. I'm not the biggest fan of just going on huge rants because I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was pretty funny, but the cynical part of my brain didn't turn off because it wasn't as enjoyable as it probably should have. I was still asking these questions and we didn't get any answers, and at the end of the day, that's just not appropriate for a show that prided itself at some point for giving explanations, for giving this kind of things, for having, just good writing. I mean, the end results of what happened, they could just write it better. I mean, Cicada didn't have to get injured. Something could have happened and he could have just jumped away because he felt overwhelmed. That would have still been kind of, but I could have lived with that. But he was literally kneeling in pain for like 30 or 40 seconds and he just jumps away. And they just look at him like, okay, well, we stopped the bad thing from happening, or the big bad is still here, he's vulnerable. We could stop him, but we have, 8 more episodes. I don't like that kind of writing. Write it in a way that it makes sense. But that is, like I said, I don't normally do episode reviews, but this literally represents all the problems of season 5 so far. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave them below. Like this video, like and subscribe if you're new. And I would love to hear your comments because this is going to be pretty interesting. This EB Reviews, signing out.